So this involves Fangio here. This is the convince me. The whole coaching staff has to leave, but you can keep one person. Are you keeping Nick Sirianni because head coaches are hard to find?
Oh, interesting.
Are you keeping Vic Fangio because he was such a difference maker at defensive coordinator? Are you keeping Jeff Stoutland because over 3 different head coaches here, he's proven that he can develop and that's a really hard spot to hit. So I think those are probably the 3 people you're talking about, unless
that's a really good question.
So the whole staff has to leave, but you're allowed to hold one guy.
Yeah.
It's like an expansion draft, and you protect one person.
This is Tyler Scudder erasure. I mean, but yeah. Fangio, Stoutland, or Sirianni, and what kind of
their role, and then
horizon?
You fill out the rest of.
What kind of horizon are we talking?
The same.
Whatever the horizon is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Whatever
so
your
if I
horizon.
keep Fangio and he retires in 2 years, that's it.
Yeah.
Fangio's not as old as
he's not that old.
He's in his 60s. Yeah.
Is he around the same age as Stoutland?
Oh, good question. Let me see what's
similar, right?
It is. You know what? This is a good framing for.
Stout's 63.
I saw.
Okay.
I saw Mina Kimes was doing like the ranking of the Eagles or the head coaches around the league, and then there's the argument about Sirianni and his winning percentage. Where does he rank? It is a good framing that in this question, I don't know any Eagles fan who's taking Nick over either Stout or Fangio.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I think the Sirianni record thing is amazing. Like, and part of what makes it amazing is the fact that no one really thinks it has anything to do with him. It obviously has something to do with him.
We've talked about it. I think he's he's the right coach for this team.
Yes.
He might not be the right coach for every team in the NFL.
He might not be the right coach for any other team in the NFL.
He is a very good head coach.
Yeah.
And there's no chance that anybody's taking him over Fangio or Stoutland.
I agree. Yeah. No, it's definitely not. My answer is definitely not Nick. If this were a Peckness migrate, I would be migrating him. I will probably go. It's so hard. It's been so long since we've had not Stoutland. I don't know if I just take him for granted. How good the offensive line has been.
Vic Fangio has been a defensive coordinator for 4 decades, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls, right?
Right.
Nick
And he's
Sirianni's
never
been
had
head coach for 4 years and has been to 2 Super Bowls. So, there's enough evidence of teams not being good with Vic Fangio as their defensive coordinator. There's more evidence of teams being good with Nick Sirianni as their head coach.
Yeah, I think my answer is gonna be Stoutland.
I think it would be Stout too for me.
Yeah, with the reason that we know that Stoutland's presence makes the run game good, makes the offensive line good. We know how important those things are. We also know from all kinds of history that defense is not sustainable, right? Whereas good offensive line play is. So I'm gonna go Stout. How many gallons is that thing,
funny?
Zach?
It's not gallons. It's 50 ounces. I drink 2 of these a day.
50 ounces.
It's good for your.
It's funny. It's funny to me because it seems very clear that you didn't want that on camera.
I did not. But
you waited until Daniz was talking. Yeah. You pulled it out from under the desk. You thought you were going to get a side little sip, only to find that it was a double shot, and you were on the whole time.
A side sip. It's like
my
drinking out of a lake.
Dry. I don't speak as clearly when my mouth is dry, so I had to.
I'll go Stout first, Fangio
I think
second.
I would go Stout too, which is insane. Like to think about,
it's an offensive line coach
that you wouldn't. Yeah, but it's crazy. But I think I probably would too. What about you, Zach?
I mean, I've seen Stout function with. This is the thing.
He has done this for 4 different coaches.
Yeah, so that's so. I would probably go Stout with there too, because so if you take the so Nick has to fill out his whole coaching staff in this case, right?
With countless different offensive coordinators. Like the run game is just always,
and you see there are some really bad offensive lines out there that probably do have a lot to do with coaching. Like I think the delta between Stout and the median offensive line coach is far greater than the delta between Nick and the median head
That's
coach.
exactly my point. Is that so? In this example, you're taking you're taking the rest of the staff away, right? And so in the case of Stout, I know he could function with that. If you just have Sirianni, so if you put a replacement level coach in with the rest of the staff and this roster, I think Sirianni's a really good coach. I still think that team is very competitive, right? Now, I don't know what the offensive line would be like with the drop off from Stout. In Fangio's case, and this is not to take anything away from Fangio was brilliant last year. They had the #1 defense. But as I said, there's 4 decades where like Vic Fangio hasn't been a miracle worker. I think you framed it well when they hired him. He raises the floor more than he raises the ceiling in 39 years before this.
Now, I do think that if you were doing a 1-year replacement, I think you would rather have Vic this year than Stoutland this year, because I think that
Because the guys already learned everything.
The guys have already learned
It's like
everything.
veterans,
and
yeah.
it is a very good offensive line right now.
Yeah.
And also, I think the defensive personnel is particularly catered to Vic in a way, whereas like if you
Yes.
just brought in a random defensive coordinator, the pieces might not fit as well. But I think over the next 5 years, as you're probably going to have to turn over the offensive line anyway, you want to make sure that Stout is here. And I also think in this hypothetical, for all the reasons that you have written about, you can probably trust the Jeffrey Lurie head coach hiring process to not get stuck with a dud.
Sure. You're right. And there's a reason why they've replaced head coaches and not offensive line coaches since 2013, right? They clearly
and defensive coordinators.
Yeah. And there have been times when there have been people that they've liked, whether it's head coaching candidates or offensive coordinator candidates, and like it was put to them, you're keeping Jeff Stoutland here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Lurie hired 2 guys that no one thought should have been the hire, and they both won the Super Bowl. I mean, it's like, yeah, he'll find another guy,
Which probably says something about the way we in the media assess coaching candidates too.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You look at someone's rankings on offense and rankings on defense and say there's so much more that goes into the job, which I think both demonstrated.
and the organization-centric nature
Sure.
of the
Right.
team, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest criticisms of Doug Peterson was that, like, well, he's not actually in charge. Like, it's an organization-centric team, and I've never really, like, why would I care about that as a fan? You know, like what's wrong with it being organization-centric if they do a good job? Like, if they put the coach in a position to win, then I don't really care if it's not, Nick Sirianni as a solo act, like winning these games. Like, as a fan, I just want the team to win. So,
I mean, I think the
That was a
best
good one,
organization.
Zach.
What's that?
That was a good one.
Yeah, I think the best organization in professional sports right now is the Los Angeles Dodgers, and like they have a manager who's outstanding at at managing his clubhouse, at dealing with that. They have someone who runs baseball operations, and Andrew Friedman, who's elite at that. And like, yeah, I agree with you. Is that you don't need the omnipotent head coach to be a successful organization.